Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. I'm about to embark on a 7-day Juice Kickstart program. What does it look like? Well, 7 days, 6 300ml juices a day. That's the intention. I'm going to give myself some leniency after day 3 because I'm also going to continue my training regime, which is 5 days a week at the gym, plus extras for my kids, etc. We do a lot of training outside for their training. So I'm going to give myself leniency, and I'm going to, after day 3, if I want to, have some salads and that as well, but I'm going to see if I can get by without them. Why am I doing it? Well, it's an experiment. I want to be an advocate for the 7-day program so I can practice what I preach, and obviously we've got a great program. We're trying to sell it. We've got 3, 5 and 7 days, but I want to test myself. So it's also a bit of a mental challenge for my discipline. I've already had my first juice for the day, and it just blows me away how I literally had it and that was it. My breakfast is done. Biggest hesitations that I've got, I don't want to be hungry. I don't want to be hangry, and I don't want to be go on a sugar low, but that's my belief. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to see. My goals are to lose as much body fat as I can, increase my sleep quality, and obviously try and have a lot more energy and a lot more vitality and even mental clarity. From a history perspective, I used to own health clubs, and I was a trainer, and I used to play professional sport. So I've just done my measurements, and let's be honest, I'm not real happy with them. I used to play professional sport 15 years ago. I've had 3 kids since. I've got a more sedentary job now that don't have health clubs, etc. My weight is currently 86.6 kilo. Body fat was 13.8%, which actually wasn't too bad, but when I look at my before photo, I was not very happy at all. My fat-free weight was 74.65 kilo. Subcutaneous fat was 11.6%. My visceral fat was 7%. Body water 62%. My muscle mass was 70.92 kilos. My basal metabolic rate was 1982 or 1982, which isn't bad. My metabolic age was 45, and my waist measurement, which is the one that I wasn't happy with, was 97. In the health club days, it used to be if you're over 90 for a male wasn't good, so I'm not happy about that. Anyway, I'm doing the program. I've got some other members. Some of the other Juice Kickstart members are doing 7 days as well. They're all men. We're giving it a crack. We're all middle-aged men, I guess, and we've all let things go a little bit, so that'll be great to have them. If you want to do maybe even a 3 or a 5, or even if you want to push it to a 7-day program, you can go to juicekickstart.com, put in the code Kickstart10, you'll get 10% off the first order, as well as free postage. So if you're interested in something like this to see how the effects will be, go to the website and I'll give you an update in 7 days and let you know how I went. Hey guys, Andrew here. 2nd day of the 7-day Juice Kickstart. Wanted to give you a bit of an update. First few hours up until 5 p.m, a bit hungry. Had been to the gym in the morning, and so my metabolism was cranking, and yeah, a bit jaded there. But noticed from 5 o'clock on, felt super sharp, had really good concentration, and even my energy was up, which was interesting. I'd only had 4 of the juices up until that point, and then I only had 1 more after that, so it wasn't even like I'd had lots of juice. Going into the next day, I had a fantastic sleep. As far as I woke up a lot earlier than normal. I wasn't hungry, went straight to the gym. A real standout for me yesterday was the amount of times, just by habit, I wanted to go to the fridge or the kitchen and have something. That was really noticeable. So another couple of noticeable points where I felt like I have a bit of a head clamp, so something going on there. Teeth were a bit woolly yesterday, which I believe is around the ketosis side of things, where I'm burning body fat, and for some reason it turns up in the mouth. But all in all, interesting. First half was a bit tough, second half was super sharp. Today, been to the gym feeling a little lightheaded. Not really hungry, about to go and have my 3rd juice for the day, and it's lunchtime now. So all in all, feeling great, feeling cleaner, feeling leaner, feel already like I've lost body fat, and even my skin is, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It's not oily, it's not dry, but it's feeling a lot more neutral. Anyway, I'll give you an update tomorrow. Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. It's the start of day 3 and I want to recap on day 2. I've just had breakfast and wow, I had an upbeat for breakfast. Took me about 20 seconds, so incredible the amount of time I'm saving with this program. But the flavors, I could really notice now it's now day 3, the incredible fresh flavors. So a real win there. But day 2, let me recap that for you. Not so flash for me. I actually noticed yesterday, I actually felt a little depressed and a little bit vulnerable for some reason. Those were the 2 feelings I had. But what I noticed, and I know this based on my sports science background, is once we turn off the sugar, e.g. we're not getting it through all the, the extra carbs and that, our adrenals turn off and we actually go back to a more natural state. So I was tired in the afternoon, I had a sleep, I woke up and I didn't have that usual go, and I didn't want, obviously not allowed to have sugar to crank me up again like a turbo boost is what the adrenals are all about. So I was just feeling, I noticed under the surface was these other feelings, which was really, really interesting. And I'm sure that happens for a lot of people when they go through this process. I also noticed this morning darker urine, and that happens because I'm not using carbohydrates as a fuel source, I'm now burning fat. We're using the ketones as a fuel source in the fat, which is part of the ketosis process. I've also noticed my eyes have been stinging a little bit, which I'm thinking is to do with a little bit of detoxification. And this morning actually I had a great sleep, but I had a lot of dreams, whereas last night not a lot of dreams, but last night I had heaps of dreams. And I noticed when I woke up this morning, I had some fear going on, which was interesting. But when I felt into it, I noticed it was actually related to my mind trying to trick me to stop doing the program, which again, for so many people who've ever done these types of things, I'm sure is very common. So I just had a conversation, felt the feelings I was feeling, and then just realized it's just my mind. I've got 5 more days on what I'm doing and just keep going. But it was really noticeable to me how our mind can sabotage our success. And when I talk about success, I didn't go to the gym this morning. I thought I'd give myself a break because of the way I was feeling yesterday, but I did go for a 5K walk. And honestly, it's day 3, and I know this because I've done this program before. It's day 3 where you start to feel really positive and really pumped. So after my walk, I felt sensational. I'm feeling cleaner, I'm feeling leaner, I'm feeling lighter, I'm feeling tighter, especially up through here, under the chin's quite weird. And also my belt, it's usually 3 holes in my belt. Today it's down to 4, which is just incredible, the amount of tightness that's happening through my stomach. I actually feel like how I feel when it comes to spring, like new possibilities, so I'm feeling really pumped. Hopefully I feel like that for the rest of the day. I'm about to go and have my second juice, and I'll keep you updated, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. It's the morning of day 4 and I want to recap how day 3 went for me. Didn't go to the gym yesterday, had a rest as I mentioned in yesterday's video. Energy's been down a little for yesterday, but something really noticeable has been happening for me. As my energy's gone down, I don't have the energy to push as hard with work or the gym or fitness, etc. The certain emotions have come up and insights, I guess, kind of like meditation. When you meditate, you start to get some subtle insights. A big one for me is, especially at the end of yesterday, was feeling like I was not receiving a lot. Now, obviously, I'm not receiving a lot as far as food goes or calories goes, and that's totally normal, obviously. So I'm noticing the physical effect, but today I really want to share more around the mental, emotional effect for myself personally, as well as then the lesson that might be in that for others. So I mentioned yesterday, when we turn off our adrenal glands, we go back to more of a natural state. And in that natural state, it presents the opportunity for other things to pop up. So things that are, when we're driving every day in fight, flight or freeze, which is when our adrenals are on, we tend to be driven by those subconscious or underlying factors. So when we go on a program like the Juice Kickstart program, and only after 3 days it's happened for me this time, is certain subconscious things start to pop up. So for me, the feeling of receiving was prominent last night. So what I did is I sat down with it and I felt into it. And at first it felt like I'm just not receiving food. And then I went, well, where else am I not receiving? And it became clear to me for the last year or 2 years in particular, I've been working my ass off, building businesses for juice, for a truck company I've got, for another juice company I've got, for Outlier, which is my TV show. And I've just been go, go, go and haven't stopped. And obviously now I'm stopping and having more rest. My body and my subconscious is telling me that I need to do more to receive in different ways. So I sat down with myself and I said, well, what does receiving look like? So it looks like being outside more, in the sun, in nature. It looks like playing more sport. I put my sport on hold for the last couple of years, as I mentioned in my first video. And it looks like looking after myself a bit better as far as doing the things that make me feel good. And obviously when we feel good, we start attracting more of that into our reality. So what's the lesson in this for you guys? Well, I guess for all of us, you know, the first tendency when doing a program like this is to stop and go, oh, I can't do this, I need to eat. And the reality is, I believe, it's not about the food, it's about that we don't want to feel those feelings that start coming up that are actually talking to us to try to help us to say, hey, it's time to reset, reevaluate, and restart the way we operate in a way that's more in alignment with our true self. So going on the Juice Kickstart program has allowed that for me to get more in tune with that. And I believe it'll help you get more in tune with it for yourself. So whether it's only 3 days, and obviously for me it's only been 3 days this time, but I'm going for the 7. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. It's just really interesting to see how in your life, as I do in my life, my fight or flight mechanism is to go hard. So I go hard predominantly in the workspace. But you know, for everyone we have our different way of going hard, or the vices that we have. So it could be drugs, alcohol, sex, work. It could be play, could be ignoring, you know, suppressing things. It could be eating, could be TV, could be gambling, could be the internet. Doesn't matter what it is, but all they are is distractions from feeling what's really going on for us at a deeper level. So I guess the benefits of the program are twofold. They're not only the physical benefits of the body fat loss, the weight loss, the feeling cleaner, leaner, tighter, more energy, detoxification, all of those things, better sleep quality, better skin, hair, nails, etc. But also, if you hang in there long enough, you actually start to get those insights that are coming from your real self, that are telling you or helping you to get clearer on what you'd rather be doing in relation to how you're operating. So I hope this video helps. I'll continue to share my journey over the next, what have I got left? I've got 4 days left. And as I said at the start, I'm not going to lie, and I haven't been lying. It hasn't been easy, but what it's been really good for me is just bringing up that realization that I guess I need to reset, I need to restart, I need to reevaluate where I'm at. So if that sounds like something you're interested in and you'd like to pursue that, and you'd like help with that, because one thing is, I've been coaching for years in my sports science, in my health clubs, in my coaching businesses, etc. So I'm always introspecting, but a lot of people don't have that support. So if you want to do the program and you want to do it with support, and you want to work with someone like myself as your coach, then that's going to add rocket fuel to the experience. So if you want to do that, then go to juicekickstart.com, and I'll see you there, and I'll give you an update tomorrow. Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. It's day 5 and I'm about to recap on day 4. Day 4 was relatively easy. I went to the gym in the morning and had a pretty good day after that. Energy levels pretty interesting actually. Related to, I'll talk about that in a sec. It's around the meditation side of things for me. But the big notices I've had overnight have been all my aches and pains have disappeared. Lower back's been a little bit tight lately, that's disappeared. Elbow, ankles, etc. just disappeared, so which is really fascinating as well. Sleep, got up at 2:30 in the morning, felt like I'd slept all night, so got up, shouldn't say it, but did some work if you've seen yesterday's video, but got some really good clarity. The big thing about the program I'm noticing so far is it's not only clean, lean, light and tight for the physical elements, but I'm starting to notice it's also, because I'm, as I mentioned yesterday in yesterday's video, because I'm reducing the energy in and I have less energy to give out, I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot more clarity on what's important to me. So what do I mean by that? I mean, I'm tuning into my intuition a lot more. there's not as much energy going in called food, and I'm not putting it out so much, so I'm not wasting as much energy, and that energy is now tuning inward, which is really fascinating. And I'm getting a lot of clarity on what's really important to me and what to remove from my life. So it's almost like not only a physical declutter in a way, but it's also a mental and emotional declutter. So I got a lot of clarity overnight. My intuition, it's like I'm walking around in a meditative state the whole time, which is really powerful. And for me, that's, again, it's more clarity, it's more certainty, it's more what I'm focused on, what's most important. And then now it's a case of just actioning that. So in essence, it's a restart, it's a kickstart, it's a reset of not only the physical, but also the mental, emotional. And obviously if you're up for something like that, you need something, you want to let go of some stuff that's dragging you down, we call it weight, but really the weight is other things other than the body weight, it's other weight. Then juicekickstart.com. And I'm sure even if it's a 3-day, I noticed this after only the 3 days, I've now almost done 5. And obviously got 2 more days to go until 7. But yeah, really noticing the lightness, the tightness, the cleanness, the leanness in all areas of my life. Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. I'm about to recap on day 5, 6 and 7. Had some video issues over the weekend, so figured I'd just do it all in one hit. First day, day 5, Friday. It was an interesting day. Went to the gym in the morning. It was just a pretty so-so day, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Until it came to night time. We got invited to a dinner party, and when you're not eating and you're going to a dinner party, it raises a few challenges. But what I found was I wasn't actually that hungry. I haven't been hungry at all throughout the period. So even though the amazing food that was on offer, it didn't really bother me. What was really fascinating though is the people that we were having dinner with started talking to us about why I was doing what I was doing, and that was a really good question. And I'd strongly advise anyone who considers doing the program to ask that of themselves as well before maybe embarking on it. Anyway, I just told them why I was doing it. It's about a case study. It's about being part of the business of Juice Kickstart and being an advocate for what we're doing. But it also raised some things for me around, and in the first few videos I've talked about working really hard for the last few years and not having much of a break and things like that. And I brought up the point with them around how I have a disregard or a disdain, I guess, for lots of body fat. And they asked me why, and I said, well, here, look at this. And I showed them a photo I was on my phone of when I was a young athlete, and how much body fat I didn't have, or how ripped I was at the time, and how good I felt about myself versus the difference now. And it raised a few questions. And anyway, that was the start of something. So overnight, on the morning of day 6, I woke up really early because I had this voice, this real clarity. I've been talking about this all along around the meditative state of this whole program for me. First time I did it was all physical. This time it's been real meditative and more mental, emotional. And I got some real clarity on the deeper part of me that's, I guess, the one that pushes hard, that's the perfectionist, that is self-critical at times, and very driven, and how that relates to this program and this process. And if I hadn't been on the juice this entire time, I wouldn't necessarily have had the ability to tune into this as much. So it's been really good in that regard. As I mentioned in prior videos, because I'm not putting so much energy in or putting so much energy out, I've got more energy to turn inward, and that's where I'm getting this real clarity on this highly driven part of myself that at times is fantastic. Obviously, don't get me wrong, but at other times it can actually go overboard as far as from a work perspective, etc. So from that conversation I had on day 5, had some real clarity, and on day 6 I decided, you know what, I'm going to bring some more balance to this program. So at that point I brought in, had some soup and some salad, so some first food for the time, and just with a little bit of food, I noticed my moods increased even further. It was fantastic. So I felt really good. Had kids sport all day on Saturday, and then Sunday was was day 7, was just a downhill run really. Had some more salad on that day, had a little bit of fruit, And I'd made the decision at that point that I wasn't going to bust my ass, even for a case study perspective. I just wanted to bring some balance in, and that's why in the program we talk about the first 3 days being where you look at doing the juice, and then the rest of the time, if you're doing a 5 or a 7 day, I introduce that clean, lean, plant-based food as well. And for obvious reasons for myself, it was around identifying that, you know, if I go all or nothing, at some point the rebel in me, or the inner child or whatever, will resist. And that's where we often, and this is not just for me, this is for people in general, and I've noticed this for years over my dealings with my clients in the health clubs, my coaching clients, etc. If we go too extreme at times, we actually will resist it another point. So you get that rebound effect. So it's all well and good to do a big process for a period of time, but there's always, unless you have reward or you have rest or you have balance in the process, you'll actually get a massive rebound at the other end. And that's where obviously in weight loss programs in particular, people at the end of weight loss programs put on a heap of weight afterwards, unless they deal with the inner stuff that's going on. So for me, those day 5, 6, 7, and obviously the program in general has been fantastic as far as it's a healing process as much as a physical healing. It's also mental, emotional, getting clarity on those inner voices and those, you know, the reason we operate the way we do. So a really good personal development program, as well as a weight loss program and an energy program as well. So days 5, 6, 7, really fascinating. Wasn't what I'd set out to achieve in the process. Obviously, initially I'd set out to achieve the physical benefits and document and showcase those, and I have done those because I've got another video, my summary video, which I'll release tomorrow, which discusses those. But all in all, day 5, 6, 7 was fantastic in the learnings, and now for me personally, it's about going away and implementing those learnings so that I'm living a more balanced life. Not that anything's always or ever in balance, because in order to move forward, you've got to have, like, if it was a wheel, it's always got to be tipping forward. But anyway, it just keeps highlighting to me, less is more. So I'm going to go away and look at what is more important to me, what can I do less but more of, and then some of the things I was doing more of that aren't important, I will do less of. So that was day 5, 6, 7, and I'll share not day 8, but it's the summary of the whole case study in tomorrow's video. So I'll see you then. Hey guys, Andrew here from Juice Kickstart. I'm just completed the Juice Kickstart 7-day program, and I've got a summary for you, my results as well as my recommendations. I'll start with my results. When I started the program, my weight was 86.6. It's now 83.8, so I've lost 2.8 kilo, which is great. My body fat was 13.8%. It's now 13.2, so I've lost 0.6%. My BMI, or my body mass index, was 24.8. It's now 24, so it's down 0.8. That's a good thing. My fat-free weight was 74.65 kilos when I started. It's now 72.75 kilos, so I've lost 1.9 kilo of fat-free weight, which is possibly not a good thing. That indicates I might have lost a bit of muscle in the process. Subcutaneous weight was 11.6%. It's now 11.2, so I've dropped some body fat in that regard. The visceral fat, which is the dangerous, more active fat, it hangs out in the stomach region, was 7%. I've dropped down to 6%, so I've lost 1% there, which is fantastic. Really happy about that one. Body water was 62% when I started. It's now 62.7, so I've increased it by 0.7, which is great. It means I've got more hydration happening. The muscle mass was 70.92. It's now down to 69.11 kilos, so I've lost 1.81 kilo of muscle mass, which obviously, as I mentioned earlier, is not a great thing, because the more muscle we have, the higher our metabolism is and the more fat we burn by default. So obviously there's a balance there between calorie reduction and quality of calories, and then the calories I want to be putting in need to be higher protein in order to hold that muscle. So obviously I'll talk about that shortly. My basal metabolic rate when I started was 1982, or 1982. Essentially that is the energy required. If I just sat down for 24 hours, that's the energy to be required to fuel me for the day or for the 24 hours. It's now 1,941 kilocalories, so I'm actually needing less energy to keep me fueled. But also that's not a good thing, because we want it actually to be higher, which means we've got a higher metabolism, which means we burn more fat. So I lost 41 kilocalories there. But a good thing is my metabolic age went from 45 and it's now to 44. So I've lost a year. So I am actually 45 and almost 46 actually in a couple of months. But I'm actually, my results are saying that I've got the body of a 44-year-old. So that's a good thing. Ideally it'd be even younger. But that's something I'll work on as we go. So all in all, the results were great. My overall results, so the physical benefits are obvious, right? I've lost body fat, I have lost a little bit of muscle mass, but I feel fantastic. I've been sleeping really well, my mental clarity's been great, concentration's been great, my skin, hair and my hands and my hair, they all feel great. Right? So those have been some real good physical benefits. But the biggest benefits for me were the mental emotional. As I've mentioned in other videos, the insights that I've had into the way that I operate that can, I guess, put me out of balance on a day-to-day basis in relation to life in general, the way I operate. I mentioned it in the day 5, 6, 7 summary videos around how I'm very driven and how sometimes that can tip me over the balance. So it's been really good getting insights in regards to that. So my recommendations as a whole of the Juice Kickstart program, I guess it depends on your goals, but I highly recommend that you do 3 days with the juice only if you can, but introduce clean, lean, plant-based food that's, you know, got some protein to it as well for the rest of the time. So if you're doing a 5 or a 7 day, add that in as well. That'll help maintain the muscle mass, which helps burn the body fat. And also it wards off the hunger pangs as well, which in this scenario, because a lot of this is mental emotional, we really want to give ourselves the best chance of success. So we don't want the inner voices turning up going, why am I doing this? Get me out of here. I'm going to stop, because then that negates everything. And then we just go on a continual cycle where we'll start another program in the future, have the same results, and wonder why we keep either not completing it, not being successful, or even, like a lot of weight loss programs, slowly putting on weight. So a big one there is, that would be my recommendations, is 3 days for starters, then move to more clean, lean, plant-based food. I'd also recommend, I kept training during the process. I didn't push as hard at the gym, but I would recommend maybe minimizing the physical activity. I just wanted to see what it was like with physical activity as well as the juice only. But I would say for most people out there, I'd highly recommend that you maybe just have that rest week in your training if you're going to do, if you're going to do physical activity, just have a rest or a lighter week for sure. Big one for me too is get support from your family, your friends or coaches, or even do the program with others. That way you can talk to each other about what's going on, support each other, keep each other accountable, but also, you know, just make sure you've got that positive, supportive voice saying, hey, no, you can do this, keep going. And, you know, even if you do get those voices come up, you can start articulating those to people so that you can put it out in front of you and address what's really going on, as opposed to, oh, you know what, I'm just making excuses and I'm bailing out. So it's always been about a kickstart or a reset for your health, your well-being habits. So only do the program if this is what you want to do. Okay, if it's all about, I don't know, if it's about doing it for other reasons, just to look good or feel good or whatever, then I'd recommend it. But just be clear on your why. Think about your purpose for doing it. And if your purpose for doing it isn't in alignment with why you want to do it, then I would not bother. So be very clear on that before you start, and be clear on if your purpose is what it is, whatever it is, make sure your actions are in alignment with it. And obviously if your purpose is in alignment with what you're doing with the program, it's going to make it a lot easier as well. So for obvious reasons, know your purpose, and if you're not committed to it, then seriously I wouldn't waste your time, because you'll get to the end of the time, if you even get there, and then you'll pull back to where you were anyway. So the biggest learning for me, I guess, with the process or the program is it's not about the juice. All right, on paper it looks like it's juice. We drink up to 6 300ml juices a day, but it's not about that. It's going to give you some significant physical benefits, but for me personally, it's helping you get clear on what's really going on and what's got you to where you are right now in the first place. Right? Why are you doing it right now? If you're going to choose to do a Juice Kickstart program now, why are you doing it? So is it because you put on body fat, you've been burning the candle at both ends, your energy's low, I would use it as a reason to work all of that out. Use the process to support you, the juice and the coaching, etc. But work out, why did I get there? What would I rather be doing with myself? And start to move towards that in your everyday life. And use the Juice Kickstart program as a support for that, because it's a fantastic physical tool as well as a personal development and healing tool or program. So if that's something that you're into and you're clear on your why and you know why you want to do it and you believe it's for you, then I'd highly recommend it. If you're someone who is like a shiny object chaser and you like the latest new thing and you think it's going to be like that and you're going to lose this rapid body fat and it's off forever and it's going to solve all the problems, it's not. All right? Problems are solved on the inside. The Juice Kickstart program will help you go on the inside, identify what's going on, as well as help you with the physical outside things. And if you're up for something like that, then I'd highly recommend it.